How's it going, everybody? GetRec57 here. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about the Marvel Rivals drama that has happened in the past couple of days regarding the $40,000 Deadpool tournament um, that was hosted recently. Um, I have I felt like I wanted to make this video because I am a high level player who has also played in competitive tournaments before. You guys haven't seen those because this was before I started streaming and doing YouTube. But I was on my school's team, and I actually have been in a relatively similar situation as um, Kingsman, who is the player we're going to be talking about today, where I was placed on a not so good team with people who didn't really seem like they wanted to win, even though there was money on the line. Now, let me give you some context for those of you who don't know behind what all this drama is about. So, this tournament was hosted by a streamer. I can't remember his name, but he hosted this tournament where he announced that there was 40K in the line, and it was a streamer only tournament. It was all Twitch streamers, pretty famous ones. You'll recognize people like Boger, Flats, I think was in it as well. Simi, lots of big streamers basically, and they did a draft system where there was like 8 or 9 team captains who got to choose from the pile of streamers that were selected. So there was this streamer, CC, was one of uh the team captains for the tournament, and she drafted an interesting pile of players. Two of them, which were one was Kingsman, and the other was this other streamer named Zaza. Now, the biggest drama behind here was as they were preparing for scrims, Kingsman is I looked him up, man. Like, I started looking at a lot of his stuff. He's a very, very talented player. He's hit top 500 multiple times. He is extreme. I watched his Magic gameplay. He's one of the best Magic controller players I've ever seen. He's extremely talented, right? And he was already put in. So he's also, sorry, let me say this about him. He's also a college student who's like trying to make his way through life without support, like as much support as maybe other people get, like support that I get from my parents, right? And so 40,000, the idea of $40,000 was a lot for him, so he was taking this very seriously, which I 100% agree with. I mean, this is a $40,000 tournament. Whether you think it's a buddy buddy content creation tournament or not, this is a tournament for real money, big money. So he wanted to take the game seriously. Zaza, who was another person who was drafted onto his team, he didn't have a choice in this because CC was the main drafter. Zaza is essentially a Widow one trick. Apparently, Zaza is able to play other characters, but in the videos that I've seen, and that I heard, I listened to the Discord chats the whole time. She refused to switch off of Widow, basically. They said, oh, she could play other characters, but she's not going to. And this is what CC said. CC said, oh, she could play other characters, but she's not going to. She's going to play Widow. And I'm sitting here as a competitive player myself, someone who can, like, I can understand a one trick, but I also can understand from the eyes of a competitive player. I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter what your one trick is or how good you are at them. You're playing for money. You are playing for real money, like serious money. And it's really, it's just embarrassing to see a player in a real money tournament one tricking one of the absolute worst characters in the game. It is, Widow is such a bad hero, and they were playing it without Mantis, so she was even worse. Terrible hero. I don't care how good you are on the hero. Don't play the fucking hero. Look, I'm not trying to hate on anybody, to be honest with you, but Look, if your mentality is I'm going to queue for a $40,000 tournament and One Trick Widow, you are actively, intentionally trying to lose the tournament for the other players that are on your team. You look, in my opinion, Kingsman should not have been banned from the tournament. Zaza should be. Zaza should be banned from a tournament if she is going to pick a single character and a bad one at that and not play anything else. Look, if you're one tricking Invis and Gambit, that's a different story because guess what? Those characters are actually good. Widow is widely known by every player in the world that she's not a good character. Not a good one at all. Is there like potential? Maybe a little bit. But if you're playing in a highly competitive, very coordinated tournament, Widow is probably one of the worst characters you could pick because there's no amount of coordination that will make Widow much better. The only coordinatable part of her kit is her ultimate because her ultimate provides a damage vulnerability on the enemies that she hits. So I'm reading all this and I'm looking at all these videos and all the tweets and all the drama around this. And as a person, I'm a 20-year-old college student as well. I am a university, but yeah, I'm in university. So I'm in a pretty similar situation to Kingsman. I'm also a highly competitive Marvel Rivals player. If I would be begging my teammates like he was not flaming her, he was begging her to pick to switch characters against things that would roll Widow. I still don't think I feel like even if you're playing against a comp that Widow can work into, you still shouldn't play Widow because she's not a good character. There is no bans in this tournament, meaning she had access to all the best hit scans. He wasn't saying don't play DPS. He was just saying don't play the garbage DPS. I would be mad too. I get mad at mad. I don't like having teammates in regular competitive who play Widow, let alone competitive for $40,000. So anyway, I've kind of gotten way too off topic onto what I think. It's just basically Kingsman got banned from the tournament. He got kicked out of the tournament because he apparently, quote unquote, this quoting the host of the tournament, he violated the rules of the tournament, and apparently the violation was he was being toxic to his teammates. The most toxic bit I saw uh from the whole interaction was that Kingsman they were playing a scrim against Simi's team, and if you don't know who Simi is like the #1 Spider-Man in the world, right? Now look at this. Let me get through the ads here. Look at this interaction. So in one of the scrims I watched, Zaza was playing into Hulk, Spider-Man, Venom. Okay? The absolute dive fiesta of Hulk, Spider-Man, Venom.
Kicked out from a
All right? And he was literally saying firsthand how the problem was that they may have won, but he had to carry way too hard. The game would have been much easier won if simply Zaza was on a good character. So let me skip to the end here. So look, she's 0-4. He's 12-2. Okay, so this is arguably the most toxic part. Let's listen.
Firehawk. He dies. Okay, guys. Taste and point proven right
Case.
now. Do you understand?
No, it's well, you've been making me feel like shit. Of course I'm gonna
How
play
do you not see the problem right now? How?
This is absolutely. He is absolutely justified in this reaction. That's the most toxic. What you just heard there is the most toxic he ever was. Toxic. I'm using air quotes here. Toxic. He is 18-2. His Angela is 10-3. His Strange is 5-4. His Deadpool is 6-3, and his Gambit is 3-5. His Widow is 0-5. 0-5 through the whole round. This, and look what they're playing. They're playing Spider-Man, Venom, Hulk. Okay, now the reason they won that round was because Kingsman was absolutely demolishing the backline. If you go and watch this video, I suggest you go and watch this video because it tells you, he really tells you exactly what happened during the whole interaction. Go and watch this video. You'll see during that whole first round, he was carrying the him and this Angela were carrying the shit out of Zaza. The shit out of her. And this, to be honest, and the two supports. The two supports kept dying as well, even though they're on pretty survivable supports. And after this round ends, he says he's been talking this whole time like we need to not play Widow here, right? He says this is case in point. Case in point, if you play against hard dive, you will just blow up and you will do bad, right? And so 0-5 on Widow. What in what universe are you still on Widow here? Get off of Widow, bro. Go play Hela. Go play Phoenix. Go play Bucky. Go play, like, even Hawkeye's better here. But Widow, why are you still playing Widow here? Look, this is only scrims. I'll admit, this is not the main part of the tournament. But this is a professional team you're playing against, okay? The enemies, Simi has been top 500. Snake Case, I believe, has been top 500. The rest of their team are all Celestials. You and the tournament is for 40K. Whether you are in scrims or the real thing, you should treat it like the real thing. Right? I grew up play like you practice and practice like you play, right? So you practice like you intend to play in the real thing. Imagine that their team was tryharding, dude. You would get they would have been destroyed. Excuse me, sorry. They would have been destroyed. Right? But Kingsman had to come through, try his ass off to win that point. Zaza is 0-5. She is 0-5. There's no argument. They argue that she was distracting them. Yo, you were backline trading. They were backline trading, and Kingsman just did it better, right? But this is not gonna fly in the real tournament. Kingsman is not gonna be able to 1v6 the whole tournament. You're going to run into a good team who counters magic, and when they do that, you're going to lose because you have a Widow. That will be the X factor. Now, Magic is not the I'll be honest, Magic is absolutely not the absolute best character in the game, but she's much better than Widow. That is for sure, for sure. That's not even an argument. If you argue Magic and Widow are on the same level, you really need help, right? But this is seriously a problem. And then he's getting frustrated because this is serious money for him. And she literally says, I don't care what you say, just shut the fuck up. I'm playing Widow. Do not enter a $40,000 tournament if you only intend to play one character, and specifically a character that is not good. I bet Kingsman is willing to flex, by the way. Kingsman played Magic because it was working with his Angela, who was doing really well. But I guarantee you, if they started hard countering Magic, he would probably switch. Whereas when she's getting hard countered on Widow, she's like, no, I'm playing Widow because I'm doing a lot. You're 0-5. I believe she ends this game 6-8 in a competitive tournament. And the thing is, 6-8, going 6-8 in a competitive tournament is not unheard of. But the thing is, your whole team better be 6-8. If your Magic is 33-3, and your Angela is 22-5, and your Strange is 17-4, and then you're over here 6-8, yeah, you're the problem. Whether you win the game or not, you should understand that you are not playing well, or the character you're playing is not good, and switch. But the insisting on playing Black Widow in this meta is honestly the most selfish thing I've ever heard, especially considering it would be selfish if it was regular competitive. This is for $40,000. Look, even a rich person would play out of their mind for that. Even if Kingston was worth 300 grand, he would still probably take it as seriously as he did. Because it's a lot of money. Maybe he doesn't win 40 grand in total, but even getting a chunk of that is serious money. That's American. I believe that's American dollars. All right, I'm in Canada. 3,000 American is nearly 4K Canadian. Like, that's serious money, bro. That's like a down payment on a car. Like, it's really like it's serious money. And to one trick widow and then get mad at your one above all teammate for saying, "Can we not play widow here?" is just the most insane thing. And I'll say CC is not clean in this. Zaza is definitely the biggest problem for not switching her character in a 40K tournament. You best believe I would switch my character. I have multiple one trick accounts. But when it comes to 40K, I'm switching my character if it's not working. I'm going to try everything I can to win the game. And CC is not clean in this. I feel like Kingsman was set up to have this happen to him. CC's peak is, based on what I heard, is GM2. Zaza is a one-trick widow, and they only have 2 one above all players on their team, and their console one above all players. He was set up to fail. First off, your team captain is a GM2. Seriously, it's a 40K tournament. All captains should be minimum Celestial 3. That should be the bare minimum. Okay? And then you get stuck with a Widow one trick as well. That's just horrible, man. I feel so bad for him. And I've had this happen because I was stuck. I was drafted onto the worser of 2 teams for my college, for my university team of Marvel Rivals, and it sucked because I was popping off and my whole team was dying, and it was really, really frustrating to play. So I can only imagine, and that was only for 4 grand. The tournament was for four grand. If we won, I was gonna get $500, and I was really, really mad. Like I was like, we got to change something, right? He's playing for 40K. Yeah, no shit. He's gonna ask the 0-5 Widow to switch. Anyway, I mean, it's all over. It's all over my feed right now. It's just everybody's started releasing videos on it. Even what's his name? Uh, it, his thing is penguins. Is this Moist Critical, I believe. I mean, it's just he's saying, and he agrees. He agrees. Of course, you can't just walk into a 40K tournament and play one character. That's just outrageous, especially one as bad as Widow.
Heard of video games help the team win, and they were talking about
Listen to this.
how toxic and annoying and insufferable he was, things like that, which eventually led to him getting kicked and being like disrespectful, that kind of thing. From all the clips I've seen, he never made any like personal attacks against anyone. He was never even like overbearing or like yelling and screaming. The closest he came was in this clip here where he's like, do you understand, like, case in point, we should make a switch, this isn't working, our Widow is 0, 5, and 0, which is a very fair point and a good suggestion because it clearly wasn't working. They may have won the point, but I think it's a large part because Kingsman put the team on his fucking back here. Like 18-2, he was kind of going Insano style. I don't know why this became such a huge issue for his teammates where they hated him so much for trying to win that they started insulting him after the fact. And that's where most of the drama stems from. Them refusing to switch is one thing that feels like it's kind of trolling and just intentionally throwing the tournament for the sake of vibes, which is weird because, again, just go play quick play or something. Why even?
Yes, that was one of the reasons that CC gave for wanting him removed from the team, is because his vibes weren't good. I'm sorry, you're playing for $40,000, bro. If I have a Widow on my team, yeah, my vibes aren't going to be too high up. And he was trying to suggest, he was saying, he was giving multiple, he said, Hawkeye, Phoenix, Hela, Bucky. He said you could play any of these characters and they would be better. And he's right. All 4 of the characters that he just mentioned are S tier and above characters. Other than, I think Hawkeye's broken, but a lot of people wouldn't agree. But Hawkeye's still better than Widow, for sure.
Even bother going into a tournament if the goal isn't to try and win it.
Exactly. Don't join a 40K tournament if you're not trying to win. And if you're one-tricking Widow, don't give me this, oh, but I'm trying to win bullcrap, because you're not. You're not. You're lying to yourself if you think one-tricking Widow is trying to win. If I went into a tournament trying to one-trick BP, you understand how much hate I would get? I'd get so much hate because one-tricking BP is the worst character in the game. But Widow is no better. Well, she is better, but not by a lot. Not by a lot at all.
to sweat because this would be very important money for him in his situation with college. Now, I also heard that when the tournament was put together, there wasn't an announcement about how much money was on the line. So I think maybe there was some confusion from the team where they wanted to just play for fun and sillies and goofies. And then once $40,000 was announced, they still had that mindset. Meanwhile, Kingsman really wanted a piece of that pie because it would be helpful to him. It'd be like $3,000, which is a significant amount of money, especially for someone in college where this could be very useful. So,
And I think that sums it up perfectly. Look, Kingsman is in the right here. He didn't like they said he violated rules, which was being toxic. He was not being toxic. Whether you want to believe that or not, he didn't personally attack Zaza for being bad. He was saying this character is not very good right now. Maybe we should play another character. Though again, the most toxic part you heard, I showed you that when he was 18 and 2 and she was 0 and 5, he was saying, look, this is case in point because he was previously saying that if you went against a full dive comp, Widow would explode. And case in point, that's exactly what happened. Right? And so now he's really because he's trying to push this. He's trying the idea is he was trying to change her mindset before the real tournament because he doesn't want to go into the real tournament with a Widow one trick who refuses to swap because he'll lose anyway. He's trying to get his team into the mindset of victory, whereas they're trying to stick in the mindset of I'm gonna play my one trick and quote unquote have fun. And I just Kingsman was going to lose either way because the reason why I guarantee the reason why he's really like trying to push this whole idea of having her switch off of Widow is because he knows if he doesn't try and push it and he keeps her on Widow, he's going to lose 40K anyway, right? So I feel like we got to the same outcome anyway. And guess what? CC's team did not win the tournament. Big surprise there. Right? Yeah, team captain's team won the tournament. But that big surprise, CC's team didn't win the tournament. They kicked out their best DPS player and they kept the Widow one trick. Of course they lost. Not a big surprise. So Kingsman didn't lose anything anyway, right? But the fact that he got kicked out and didn't even get a chance to try for it is just so embarrassing considering the reason why he got kicked out was because of a Widow one trick. You know the Widow one tricks that everybody hates? Like, literally, it's insane. Anyway, that was my thoughts on it. I'm curious to hear what you guys think in the comments. I wasn't going to make another video today, but as soon as I saw all this drama, I was like, yo, I have to say something because as a a university student who also plays competitive Marvel Rivals myself, this is infuriating for me to see because that guy does not deserve to be treated how he was treated. All right. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all in the next one.